we have a very, still in the Krishna consciousness movement, a very male-centric set of scriptures. Because there's just the restrictions of language. Actually, this is speaking of devotees. And Prabhupada loved his female disciples as much as his male disciples, and he also wanted them, to preach or to find fulfillment in their spiritual life, just the same. But he hardly mentioned them. When he speaks, when he spoke, he always spoke about boys and men. But actually, it's everyone. I had quite a hard time translating the Bhagavad Gita in a way that wasn't, gender specific, because in Sanskrit the same thing. It's just a linguistic thing. So the translation goes on, in this way, as empowered men went from village to village, all the people of South India became devotees. Thus many hundreds of people became Vaishnavas when they passed the Lord on the way and were embraced by him. So on the one hand it says many hundreds, on the other hand it says, Prabhupada has translated, actually the Bengali says all the people of South India, so somewhere in between a few hundred and all the people. Clearly everyone didn't become a pure devotee, because I don't think India would have been the same place if they had. In whatever village Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed to accept alms, many people came to see him. By the mercy of the Supreme Lord, all these persons became first-class devotees. Later they became teachers or spiritual masters and liberated the entire world. In this way the Lord went to the extreme southern part of India and he converted all the provinces to Vaishnavism. The Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not manifest his spiritual potencies at Navadvip, but he did manifest them in South India and liberated all the people there. And here's another comment by Prabhupada. At that time there were many smartas, that is to say, people who follow the strict rules of the Vedic culture, but they're not devotees, in the holy place of Navadvip, which was also the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. Followers of the Smriti Shastra are called smartas. Most of them are non-devotees, and their main business is to follow the Brahminical principles strictly. However, they are not enlightened in devotional service. In Navadvip, all the learned scholars were followers of the Smriti Shastra, and Lord Chaitanya didn't attempt to convert them. So Krishna makes this distinction in the Gita between, how does he put it? He makes a distinction between the external rituals of religion and the actual essence of religion. He actually uses another word, the flowery, he uses that word flowery, doesn't he? Push it. Pardon me?
The flowery language of the Vedas.
Thank you. So, the externals of religion can be very attractive for some people, without even touching the essence, and they can get a huge amount of pleasure out of performing, the rituals. And we're not just speaking of, every religion has it. It's not just a Hindu religion or a Christian religion, every religion. A friend of mine goes to China a lot. One of the customs there is when you go in front of what's the traditional religion of China? The Taoism, yeah. So you go in the Taoist temples, but also in the Buddhist temples, Chinese Buddhism, and people offer prayers, you know, they ask for things. And so in front of the shrine, there's a big bowl for lighting incense. You offer a prayer and you light a stick of incense. Only, maybe if I light, 2 sticks of incense, my prayer may be heard more than if I just light 1. Or maybe I light 5 sticks of incense. Or maybe 10. Or maybe 100. Or maybe like hundreds of sticks of incense. So what happens is, this bowl gets bigger and bigger over the years until now there's huge, great stone incense burners, bowls in front of the altar, and clouds of incense. It's not out of devotion. It's because people are frightened that maybe my prayer won't be heard, won't be answered. So I'll light a few hundred sticks of incense instead of just 1. We're very fortunate because Krishna said, you can just offer me a drop of water, a leaf. It's not a question of quantity. And the same principle holds for everything we do. It's not quantity. Krishna's not looking at quantity, he's looking at what's in your heart. Quantity is to make up for lack of heart, mostly, in life. It's usually what they call it, compensation. So we should have confidence that if I'm sincere, I could be doing something really quite small, but if I'm sincere, Krishna's very happy. So the flowery rituals and words of religion, Krishna says, basically he says, that's not important. It's what's important is the essence. In the Gita he says that. Anyway, Navadvip was full of people who were smarters, and they were interested in the externals of religion. And Prabhupada says, so Lord Chaitanya didn't attempt to disturb them. He instead, Prabhupada says, therefore the author has remarked that the spiritual potency of Lord Chaitanya didn't manifest at Navadvip, or the spiritual potency which didn't manifest in Navadvip, it manifested in South India. And so it became a Vaishnava. And then Prabhupada makes a personal comment. He says, by this it's to be understood that people who are really interested in preaching, and people are really interested in preaching, in a favourable situation, if the candidates for conversion are too disturbing, a preacher may not attempt to spread Krishna consciousness among them. It's better to go where the situation is more favourable. Thus, this Krishna consciousness movement was first attempted in India, but the people of India, being absorbed in political thoughts, didn't take it. They were entranced by the political leaders. We preferred, therefore, to come to the West. Following the order of our spiritual master, and by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, this movement is becoming successful.